The Hansa Fish River Canoe Marathon is proudly brought to you by Hansa Pilsner. A quick recap on the action on day one. 46 kilometers from Grassridge Dam to Knutsford, starting with the Le Mans start and then a flat-out sprint across the surface of Grassridge Dam to the portage around the dam wall. Hot out of the blocks, Hank McGregor and Jasper Mocke, freshly back from the Surfski World Champs in Tahiti. They asserted themselves early on, but it was this crew. It was Greg Lowe in the front and Andy Burkett behind him who quickly started to take control of the race. They were the first into Keith's flyover, with only Hank McGregor and Jasper Mocke behind them really able to stay in contention. These were the two crews that would decide the rights to contest the title for the Hansa Fish 2015. Andy Burkett and Greg Lowe hoping to become the first local to win this race since 1998. Jasper Mocke pounding through the waves of Soutpans Drift Rapid. These two crews still tied together, with the visiting Czech crew of Jakub Adam and Michael Odvarko getting thrashed in Soutpans and having to take a very unwanted swim that cost him 2 places and let Jenkins and Siseko Ntondini get ahead of them. When it came to the women's race, however, it was a very different landscape because there was one clear favourite crew. Abby Sons, known to many still as Abby Adi prior to her marriage, and with her, the Czech new marathon world champion, Anna Koziszkova. They quickly took control of the women's race and paddled peerlessly on the very full river, pounding their way through obstacles like Soutpans Drift and Double Trouble, and while behind them, Bridget Hartley, who was the closest contender, having to take a very unwelcome dip with Michelle Byrne. It's early bells on Saturday morning and the Karoo sun is baking down on Knutsford here for the start of day 2 of the Hansa Fish River Canoe Marathon. Reverse order start in line with some of the other major races like the Doozy, and that means that the backmarkers get to go at around 7 a.m. and they get to enjoy the very best of the conditions on the river. The elite paddlers, the leaders, are going to be starting at about 10:30 and the short straw, A batch, last off at 11 o'clock. That all means a grandstand finish for the end of this year's Hansa Fish River Canoe Marathon. Andy Burkett and Greg Lowe off first in elapsed time, with the fish and chip starting at 7 a.m. This was a 10:30 reversed order start, 2.5 minutes in the bank as they went tearing off around the corner. No splash covers on because there's a portage just around the corner. The first real time to gauge whether they were making any progress was at gauging weir, shooting it very cautiously down the centre. Greg Lowe doing the driving and mastering gauging weir. And at this stage, the early splits were showing that they were opening the lead they had over Jasper Mocke and Hank McGregor, who were in second behind them. So a healthy start to the day. 36 kilometers and not much attacking opportunities as McGregor and Mocke come into a very similar line down gauging weir, cautiously making sure they don't bump the nose of the boat, also safely through, but they're seeing the deficit between themselves and the leaders getting gradually bigger, and that wouldn't have been good news for them at all. Meanwhile, behind them there was a real dogfight going on for 3rd, 4th and 5th, and it involved this man, Len Jenkins and Siseko Ntondini on the left, sliding down the left-hand side of gauging weir, and with him Brandon van der Walt and Stu McLaren. These two were fighting it out for 3rd and 4th, with the Czech crew we are on board with at the moment, Michael Odvarko and Jakub Adam, slicing their way under the first of the 3 bridges and then gauging weir and almost getting that wrong, dropping into the left of gauging weir. They're in 5th at this stage, but determined to make a fist of it. They were going to challenge for the podium, and they weren't going to give up until the final finish line in Craddock. The portage at the Marlow Causeway, and it's Andy Burkett and Greg Lowe comfortably in control, getting good news from their seconds. That split is widening over Hank McGregor and Jasper Mocke. From here, it's all action. It's about 10 kilometers, which includes 3 weirs, including this one, the new built chute at Marlow School. Local water this for Greg Lowe as they slide down Marlow chute. No problems whatsoever. The water coming in from the right, often catching paddlers out. Their lead is intact, and Hank McGregor and Jasper Mocke on a very similar sort of line, sliding down, pointing slightly left. They catch that neatly and they head off in hot pursuit. But there's less than 40 minutes to go from here, and there are opportunities to close down what is now a 4-minute deficit, fading fast. Len Jenkins and Siseko Ntondini trying to assert themselves in the race for 3 and 4 over Brandon van der Walt and Stu McLaren. The outskirts of the city, and this is the defining obstacle. Craddock Weir and a left-hand option, as the Low brothers so often do, safely navigated. It looks so simple when it's done properly, and it sets them up on what should be the ideal line, but they're having to tiptoe around the lifesavers at the foot of the weir. The good news by this stage is that the lead was over 4.5 minutes, and with no hiccup at the drop at Craddock Weir, all the pressure was now on Hank McGregor and Jasper Mocker. Nice straight line, they safely through it, but with just 3.5 kilometers to go, there was going to be no stopping. Jasper enjoying every moment of that, saluting his fans. They got a rock star welcome from all the fans that had raced earlier in the day. Len Jenkins, Siseko and Tondini landing it, but there's no sign of Stu McLaren and Brandon van der Walt. And the students on the bridge have picked up that they have opted to portage, and that's left the door open for the checks. They've never shot this. Can they safely land Craddock Weir and make up one place in the process? This would have been nervy moments, and you can see from the body language they are stoked with that. They've suddenly vaulted from 5th to 4th, and there's the disconsolate look on Stomach's face as Brandon van der Walt and Stu McLaren realise they've just leaked a place by opting to portage at Craddock Weir. Now, all attention on the front of the race. As the first local to win this race since 1998, Greg Lowe gets to the finish line. That's a back marker just ahead of them, getting some unfamiliar attention. But it's Greg Lowe and Andy Burkett that are going to be raising the 2015 Hansa Fish title.
Yeah, look, we grew up watching Daniel Conradi winning this race many years ago, and and to get to the finish first is awesome, and to do it with a good mate like Andy makes it even more special.
So fantastic news for Greg Lowe and Andy Burkett. Len Jenkins and Siseko and Tondini fighting their way onto the podium at the end of a fantastic race just behind the two leaders. Now, back to the women's race, starting in elapsed time. Abby Solms and Anna Kozheskova starting in amongst the men and determined to make a fist of it. 9 minutes means that they're really, really unlikely to be caught, even if they do make a mistake or take some conservative options. And this is the chasing boat, Michelle Byrne and Bridget Hartley. Bridget Hartley, so familiar with the clinical discipline of 500 and 1,000 metres sprinting and 200 metres now in the Olympic program. Now she's having to deal with big rapids, rocks and weirs, and she's loving every minute of it. Ducking under those 3 bridges, which are the hallmark of the first third of the race, and then into gauging weir down the left-hand side, coolly and calmly handled. That boat sitting so comfortably for Abby and Anna as they start taking off towards Craddock, knowing that there are only 2 weirs and a couple of rapids standing between them and what will be a very, very impressive victory. In second place, here's Bridget Hartley and Michelle Byrne going down the centre. No, and they kick that to the left, and they're going to take a swim. So mirroring their swim at Soutpans on the first day, their efforts to try and close the margin being undone by a technical error on the river. And you can see how shallow it is. That's Bridget Hartley trying to keep control of the boat and minimize the amount of time they're going to lose. Jenna Ward, the under-23 surf ski world champion and bronze medalist at the under-23 marathon champs with young Kaeda Purchase, making the left line look really easy going down gauging weir. Also a fascinating tussle going on in the ladies' race for the last spot on the podium, and they were locked right into that dogfight. Meanwhile, back up front, it was something of a victory procession now, with the margin ballooning past 10 minutes. Abby and Anna now able to take their time as they take out for the portage at the Marlow Causeway, knowing that their lead was not under any threat at all. They're both competitors, and they were determined not only to finish this race winning comfortably as women, but they were racing the men around them as well to make a statement. Here they come into the Marlow chute, sliding down that bumpy chute into the thick water below. Absolutely masterful as they slide out of there and on towards Craddock Weir, which they had predetermined they were going to portage. No risk taken there. They had earned the luxury to do that. They had nearly 12.5 minutes in the bank. They could then put their foot down and gun it to the finish at the Craddock Sports Grounds.
No, I mean, Anna and I are super chuffed with our race. It was sort of textbook stuff, no problem from start to finish. It all just worked out according to plan.
And in technically difficult water as well. It wasn't an easy fish.
No, not at all. I mean, Soutpans yesterday was pretty big, and Anna and I just went through, perfectly through everything. We're so solid and confident going through all the rapids. So definitely improvement on our last K2 fish.
So Abby and Anna wrapping up a comprehensive victory. Kana Peak and Donna Hutton, the juniors, eventually getting the last step on the podium ahead of Jenna Ward and Kaeda Purchase.
I don't know, call it beginner's luck. Again, on day 2 or this year, the whole year, I didn't have one swim. Again, had a local villa and my partner Igor, my mate. So we were good in the boat again, and yeah, didn't swim at all. So phenomenal on the river again, and a great experience day 2. Almost lost it there at Canoe today, but I don't know if somehow we pulled it back, and yeah, we went for it.
We're shooting everything today.
Yeah,
Even Craddock.
Yeah, just to make Craddock, it's another big one. And just have a jaw, yeah?
we had quite a few swims yesterday that I was not prepared for, and I'm in a lot of pain all over my body.
There is such a vibe, such cheers, and yeah, good luck to the paddlers today.
Good, slow start, but we're flying now.
2 or 3 near swims, but fantastic, eh? It's all my driver.
Tip top, Canoe. Best place in the world to be this week.
It's been good. We're still married.
Babe, I'm on fire. I'm on fire, babe, I'm on fire. You turn me inside out. I'm on fire, babe, I'm on fire. You're spinning me round and round. You don't know looking that way. You don't know I want you to stay. You burn me up like a molten flame. I've no resistance because you play that game. I lose myself, I'm falling down on my knees. I want you here, babe, I'm begging you, please. Come on and free me from this endless desire. All systems overload, babe, I'm on fire. I'm on fire, babe, I'm on fire.
I'm Gina, but I'm acting as Robin.
Had a bit of a swim. It's been tiring work, so I thought I'd have a bit of a Hansa.
It's been amazing. The rapids today have not been as gnarly as yesterday.
With the field continuing to grow year on year, the paddlers are voting with their feet, or their paddles, and making sure that this trip down to Craddock early in October is one that they're going to place high on their priority list. Thoroughly successful weekend in the Eastern Cape, most of them counting the days to the next Hansa fish.
Will we do it again? Sure, I will. I've done it a couple of times, but I'm sure he'll do it again.
It was quite tough. The distance was quite long, I must say, but I had fun. He showed me all the lines and I was missing them, so yeah, thanks.
25th, yeah, today.
25th. I've done 3, but he was teaching me today, so I let him sit behind and he was guiding me all the way down. Couldn't have a better teacher.
And tell me the story about Seamus here.
He just dropped in on us one day. He said, I'm here for the ride. And he stayed. He won't go anywhere without us.
And he's been on TV many times now.
It's a great race. From Oudtshoorn, and we're not used to this volume of water.
There's 82 kilometers, big weirs, long slogging flats, and it's the last little hill here that kills you. How was it?
It wasn't that far, was it? I thought we had another day to go.
The Hansa Fish 2015 was proudly brought to you by Hansa Pilsener.